Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here for another edition of Blogs with Boilon Friday. We've had a lot of news recently, actually, with the news on Wednesday about Nemesis and Archangel's kit, which I didn't cover myself. A lot of the other content creators did do that, though. And, of course, the news just last night about the Cosmic Crucible store inclusion of character shards. I did put out a video on that, and so you can check that out if you haven't already. And I'm wondering if there's going to be more information on that in today's blog. I have heard that there's going to be a team reveal in this blog as well, another one, so we're going to get to take a look at that. Now, before we do take a look at the blog, and there's some other information I want to talk about, I do want to bring up really quickly my new channel. It's called Boilon Snap. Now, this is a dedicated channel for my Marvel Snap content. I've separated this out from my main channel, so it really greatly appreciate for those of you who do play Marvel Snap or do want to follow my Marvel Snap content to go over to the channel and hit that subscribe button, or if you just want to help me out, just to go and do that, because I need to get over that sort of 1K subscriber hump, which is challenging at the start. So if anyone watching these videos would want to help me out, then I'd greatly appreciate going to youtube.com/@BoilonSnap. I'll have the link in the description and the comments section down below as well. So if you're ready to go, let's talk about the blog. Okay, so interesting stuff here, isn't it? So, who's on the cover here without even going down below in the blog, and I haven't actually checked it out yet? That's Captain Carter. That's, I'm pretty sure, Agent Venom, and that is U.S. Agent John Walker. Okay, the interesting thing is here, and I want to give credit, is that these were sort of rumored a long time ago by Tana. These exact same three characters, not necessarily on the same team, but I do remember videos coming out, and we were talking about how U.S. Agent was going to come to the game, and honestly, I thought that he was going to come in the form of Thunderbolts, because if I'm not mistaken, I thought that he was going to be on that team in the movies, so I guess that's not, unless they're going to rework him again later down the line, I guess that's not going to be the case now. So let's read on anyways. So Project Rebirth. We knew that this team was coming because it was in the data mines, but we didn't know which new characters were going to be a part of it. Now, this is interesting. It'll be comprised of Captain Carter, Agent Venom, and U.S. Agent, with updates to Captain America OG and a Winter Soldier. It's going to be a bio raid team. Bye-bye Web Warriors. They lasted about a year, because this time last year... So... I have a lot of thoughts on this. It probably won't be enough to be contained in this one video. We'll have to discuss this probably in the days to come. This particular was... I'm not surprised, actually, because I had a video that I already pre-recorded that's going to come out on the weekend that has specifically to do with Doom Raid and why I think there's something around the corner. But let's talk about it, and I guess that's why, because this blog is super meaty, so I'm going to be skipping over this stuff with regards to the lore, so if you don't know, go check that out. For the Rebirth team, Captain Carter is a support who uses high health and damage stats to lift up her allies amongst a swarm of enemies. Job is to heal and bolster allies with positive effects. Does a good deal of damage. Captain Carter can also revive a dead Rebirth ally with acrobatic justice. So she's a hero, global bio support Rebirth, more global characters, of course, and this is not going to be a Apocalypse team, but because it's a raid team, that puts it at a very high bar for me, and I think this comes... I don't think anyone saw this coming, because we're still getting Death Seed, and we're getting two raid teams in one patch. Mind blown. Honestly, did not think we would ever see two full, even though it's a winter patch, did not expect two full raid teams in the same patch. Wow. Okay, so basic, a proper bash, 280% to the primary target and change to one target. Apply regen to the most injured ally, or 2 if they're Rebirth, for 2 turns. So that's not too bad. If that's a striker action, that could be interesting. Acrobatic Justice, 4/4. Gain 3 deflect, 1 counter, and 1 death proof. Okay, it's alright. In raids, apply that to all Rebirth ally. Okay, that's better. that's pretty good. That's a lot of deflect. Heal self and also... The OG Cap, I guess, is the tank for this team, right? Because, I mean, unless there's 2 tanks, he's probably going to be it. Heal self and all Rebirth allies for 10% of the max health. and then revive a dead ally to 60% if there's no allies. Extend all positive effects. So this is really good on a cooldown of 4. It also does damage as well. So yes, it does damage, and it heals, and it possibly revives, and applies buffs. Really good action. Actually, this reminds me a little bit like Maria Hill's ultimate, where it did, like AoE damage and healed and did all that into one. So a really good skill here. Ultimate Rolling Liberty. 3 out of 3, so all this is available on turn 1. Attack all targets for 350% AoE. Clear all negative effects from self and 2 from all allies. It's not all of them. That's interesting. Heal another heal for 20%. And in raids, if this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies, applying Safeguard. Wow, for 2 turns. That's pretty good. Team-wide Safeguard in raids only, but still very good skill. V for victory. On turn, apply regen for 2 turns to self and all Rebirth allies. 50% chance to apply assist now. Sorry, on turn, rather. And that's really good, actually. But it's on her turn, of course. And then 50% chance to apply assist now to a random Rebirth ally. It's a shame it's not 100%, but it is what it is. 25% block chance. I assume they're all going to get some degree of block chance. That's just with the deflect thing going on. Gain 30% armor and 30% max health to the whole team. In raids, on spawn, apply defense up for 2 turns to self. Okay, some good survivability to start. Everyone needs that. And additional health. 60% armor and max health to Rebirth allies. Wow. And if they drop below 30% for the first time, heal that character for 30% of the max health. So really good. Very good support character there. No problem. I don't see any problems so far. Agent Venom, again, I'm not going to go... It's Flash Thompson. I'm not going to go over the lore here. If you want to check it out, read that out there. A Blaster. So here's the damage character coming in, because I don't know if it's going to be Winter Soldier exactly. And his damage and focus stats make him a major source of firepower. This human symbiote hybrid becomes an absolute terror in raids. Okay, let's kind of read on to the kit. Hero Global Bio Blaster. So the problem is now, of course, that being all these characters are bio, you're going to have to make that conscious decision about, now you're not even going to touch Web Warriors, right? And anyone who may have done that more recently is going to feel bad about that. But here's what's interesting. He's got the symbiote tag. And so what does that really mean? Are you going to be able to lump him in? Is there any purpose? He's a hero symbiote. I don't know if there's any purpose for this, more broadly in his kit. Attack primary target for 300% damage plus apply defense down for 2 turns. That's good. Chain to 1 target and also apply. So that's nice. That kind of reminds me of a little bit of Symbiote Spider-Man's basic. In raids, chain to an additional target. So that's 2. Plus apply defense. That's good. That is like a Symbiote Spider-Man basic right there. And then on any crit, apply bleed. Symbiotic Smackdown, 3 out of 3. Very low cooldowns on these characters. Primary target for 100% piercing. Bonus attack for 2 times for 100. So that's 300% piercing. If this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies, do it 1 more time for 200. So 500% piercing. In raids, flip a positive effect to a negative effect for each attack. So that's not too bad. It is good that it's piercing. Outside of raids, I feel... Actually, no, sorry. It does work outside of raids. You just need to have the allies. So that's not a big problem there, actually. I was going to say, otherwise it seemed a bit lackluster on the damage. Ultimate Bullet Storm, so not a turn 1 ability. Attack all enemies for piercing. 250 plus 25% per positive effect and negative effect on the primary target. So you're going to want to make sure that the primary target is the one with the most amount of buffs and debuffs. Kind of like Shang-Chi, when you kind of target the main character that has a crap ton of positive effects, you kind of want to make sure you're doing that. In raids, if this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies on crit, repeat this attack. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that he's a raider, probably, because you're going to want to get as high up there on the crit chance as possible. Passive Symbiote Agent. In raids, if this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies, or on this character, or Rebirth ally block, attack the most injured. Okay, so some sort of a trigger that does more damage. 100% is not a lot, though. So the other characters that have had retaliates or some version of that typically hit for a lot harder, anywhere from 200 to 250. This seems a bit low, but maybe it's not super necessary. He does have the damage passive, though, and that's outside of raids, and you get even more in raids. So 60% in raids, 30% outside, which is nice because Web Warrior with Ghost Spider, it was only in raids that the team got the damage passive. Crit damage as well per Rebirth ally. So he's definitely going to be a raider. U.S. Agent. We've seen the Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show, I'm sure, at this point. U.S. Agent Villain. Let's go back. He was hero, right? Yeah, sorry, they were heroes. He's a villain. That's interesting. Villain, global, bio, controller, rebirth. Keep in mind that Winter Soldier is tagged as a villain as well. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Controller. I'm going to skip this a little bit. Let's read on to the kit. 300% damage and gain 2 deflect. That's a pretty boring basic, actually. Yeah, kind of boring. That's actually not too much different than OG Cap, I think, who also gets deflect now. And chains, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that, you know, US Agent is going to have a much higher stat potential than OG Cap. Liberty's Revenge, 3 out of 3. Attack primary target for 300% damage plus apply ability block. Ability block is very important for raids because there's often a lot of critical characters that need to get hit by that. Chain to 1 adjacent target and also apply ability block, so that's cool. So it kind of reminds me of Vision in a little bit of a weird way with the dive bomb, and that applies ability block to a second character as well. In raids with 3 or more Rebirth allies, bonus attack non-summoned. The non-summoned, hold on, okay, I think that was repeated twice. Non-summoned enemy with highest speed bar, ignoring taunt and stealth. Yes, this was definitely repeated a handful of times for 300% damage and apply ability block for 2 turns. So this is going to be on top of that, presumably. So it could be up to 3 targets then for that, which is pretty good. Apply ability block for 2 turns to primary and secondary targets instead. Okay, so that seems good. Yep. Oh, this is 1 turn, that's why. So from 1 turn to 2 turns in raids. So that's nice. Cannot be dodged. That's cool. Ultimate, irredeemable attack, 3. Very low cooldowns. Everyone has very low cooldowns. 3 out of 3. And also keep in mind that OG Cap with his special when he taunts, he gives out ability energy, which we're probably going to see below. He already does that anyways, but this is going to be a really, really energy efficient team, I think. Attack primary target for 300% piercing. In raids, apply stun. So outside of raids, this sounds really lackluster and boring. In raids, apply stun to the primary target. In raids, if they have 3 or more Rebirth allies, apply slow for 2 turns. So that's really good to all enemies. Very, very good. And enemies killed by this attack cannot be revived. That's interesting. I don't think that's raid specific, but that might be very hard to land. Tainted Justice on turn. Clear 1 positive effect from all enemies. That's really good. So he's going to need to make sure that he has the focus. I'm sure he'll be able to get that, but you know, you might want to run him a Skirmisher ISO, maybe, just in case. In raids, if this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies on self or Rebirth ally block, fill speed bar for the whole team for 5%. So that might not sound like a lot, but it's probably going to start stacking up. Gain 25% block chance. Like I said, everyone has a block chance here. And the deflex will also trigger a block too. Gain 30% focus, and in raids 30% more. So 60% in raids. So I like this, that the stats are 30% outside of raids, 60% in raids. That's very, very strong. Captain America updates. The base stat reworks here. That's really good. I'm going to have to do another video on the side, maybe before the patch, and we'll take a look at Captain America and Winter Soldier's base stat reworks and see where they kind of land with characters now. That'll be a good thing. I usually do those types of videos, so look out on the channel for that. We'll check that out. Let's see what they've changed, though. The basic. So increase the damage by 30%. We've also applied offense down. That's really good for 2 turns. And also apply on the adjacent, the chaining to offense down for 2 turns. That's really good. And he gains defense up. I thought he gained deflect, but okay, I got that wrong. But still, offense down for 2 turns on a basic, that is very strong. His special Inspire, we kind of knew what this did already. Now it clears all negative effects from self and 2 negative effects from all allies before he does it, which is great. So this would be a very good way to clear Disrupt. If he had Disrupt, it's now gone. Gain Taunt for 2 turns instead of 1 turn, and apply defense up for 2 turns instead of 1 turn, and immunity to the, wow, all allies, including outside of the Rebirth team. This is really good. More ability energy as well. Grant 1 ability energy to 4 random Rebirth allies. So you're going to get this, and you're going to get this. Because none of the other ones are Avenger tagged anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That is really, really strong of a skill. And I'm really curious to see how this base stat rework kind of lines up. Ultimate shield throw, we kind of know that. He chucks it out. What does it do now? Rebirth out. He gains 60% speed bar for any Rebirth allies on the team, similar to the Wave 1. If this character has 3 or more Rebirth allies, 5,000% focus on all attacks. So you're guaranteed to basically clear the positive effects now, which is great. Passive Assemble. On spawn, apply 2 deflect. So there's the blocking, there's the speed bar. Whenever this character or Rebirth ally drops below 50% max health, clear all negative effects from self and gain taunt. So he's an auto taunt. He's getting an auto taunt feature. A lot of the other tanks, the recent tanks, kind of have something like that. So no surprise there. And then he's gaining more block chance for more Rebirth allies like the Avengers. And he gets more block amount in raids, up to 50% more. So he's going to be a beefy tank. If anyone has a 6 or 7 red star on this guy, oh my god. This might be where I might put my gold promos in right now. And then, of course, more max health. Actually, no, the max health isn't changed. No, never mind. You're not going to be using them for wave 1 anyway, so it doesn't matter. Winter Soldier updates. Some pretty hefty stats there. I'm not really sure if 29% damage is a lot. We'll have to see once I plug the numbers into my spreadsheet. Apply defense down on the basic. That's okay. I feel like he's going to be like the Scarlet Witch or Phantom X. Let's see if there's anything crazy. Cap. OG Cap, though. Wow. New on the special. So bonus attacks for 3 times. It's increased damage, which is good. Huge damage increase multiplier. So we'll see how that pans out in practice. Ultimate, this was super boring. What does it do now? Clear 3 positive effects on the primary target. Attack primary target for 630. Okay, same amount of damage, actually. In raids, it applies stun for 2 turns, so that's good. And disrupt. So stun and disrupt, and 5,000% extra focus for this attack. That's pretty good. The damage, hopefully that translates with his base stat increase, because it still felt kind of lackluster despite the big numbers there. We'll see how that translates in practice. His passive, when Captain America ally is attacked, apply... Oh, wow. Constant offense up to the entire team. Okay, that's good. But he doesn't need to be really high geared to activate that. 30% resistance to the team, 60% in raids, and then Rebirth allies gain 25% crit chance, so that's really nice. Captain America, if Captain America is an ally, he gains 20% max health. So, again, probably the weakest of the 5 that I've seen, and you don't really need to gear him super heavily to do what he needs to do. You're probably looking at like a gear tier 14, 15 kind of Winter Soldier. I would prioritize the other characters, and definitely OG Cap over Winter Soldier so far, what I've seen. Yes, there is more. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the December month-long event. And this does not have a character in it. It's going to have like an event store from what I understand. 4 main... Okay, so this is pretty typical. This is probably coordinated assault. I'm going to kind of gloss over this a little bit and maybe come back to this later because it is getting a little bit long. The Abominable Beast event, though, that is Dark Beast's event. The Herald of Death, that sounds like possibly a precursor to Archangel's event. Progeny of Apocalypse, probably Apocalypse event. Or no, it's probably going to be... What's his name? Nemesis is probably going to be Nemesis's event, and this is, I don't know, hopefully like a freebie. Because honestly, with Christmas around. Let's see if there's more details in here. Quick rumbles. Don't really care too much about this. We have Skilletary, Bionic Avengers, no traits, and Party Animal. Coordinated Assault, of course. Points. Shout out to Canadian players. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so no character shards. That's okay. We'll come back and take a look at this. Event store and rewards. What are we getting? Oh. Morgan Le Fay shards. Icarus, Abomination, Hulkbuster, Spider-Weaver, Agatha, Dazzler, 2099, Brawn, Nemesis at the end of the month. Earn presents to spend in each week will feature a new set of character shards in the top of the store, which will reset at 4 p.m. So are you going to want to hoard all of your credits then, all of your event currency to buy Nemesis shards? Is that what I'm getting at here? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Sorry, I took a pause there because I just, yeah. We're going to have to talk about this closer to the time. Oh my god, and we got a Dark Beast event in here. I'm not going to cover this here in this video. I'm going to be doing it in a separate video prior to the event, which, let's check the start date. It's going to be on December the 6th. So that's going to be on Tuesday that it's starting. So this event video will go out on Monday. I always do it a day before, so we're going to do that then. We're going to skip this for now, and I'll come back to this, and I'll do all the math, and we'll talk about the implications of the event and all that stuff, and what we need to do for that. I would, however, save your power cores in the meantime, because there is that in this. I'm pretty sure part of this revolves around spending power cores. I knew that. Ghastly Experiments milestone, 1-to-1 ratio here. And we'll take a better look at that later on. There's going to be dark promo credits and 5 red Magneto in here. Just taking a quick glance at what's in there. 10,000 power cores to spend. Well, we know that's not going to happen, right? So there might be something more reasonable over 7 days, though. It depends on how much you're willing to spend, right? And if this comes over when it overlaps with Nemesis's pre-offer, I may end up double dipping with 675 core orbs for both of them. So, we'll see. For the Dark Beast event and for Nemesis. But yeah, I'm going to just gloss over this. We have that for Skilletary. This is the Quick Rumble stuff. Cosmic Crucible updates. Oh. Okay, so this was on top of yesterday. Updates to the store. Ranked rewards are scheduled to arrive on December 8th. In the Crucible store, we'll be adding character shards for purchase with elite credits. Okay, so not standard credits, it's elite credits, and I have a shit ton of these. So that's interesting. Gambit! Hulk... I said Gambit! I told you it was going to be Gambit, and people said I was wrong. Ha! In your face, Gambit is coming. The other 3 characters we don't really care that much about, but Gambit is coming, and it's a higher cost. I'm going to be able to get to 7-star my Gambit because I got a shit ton of Crucible credits. Congratulations for me for hoarding. Once again, I got 100,000 elite Crucible credits. 7-star Gambit is coming to me. 7-star Hulkbuster is coming to me. I don't really care that much about Abomination, but the other 2 I do. So that is going to be a big one for me. Just like the Raid Store, we'll be rotating in more characters and updating the prices, so be on the lookout for more additions. Ranked rewards will see an increase in standard and elite credits across the board for all leagues. Ranked rewards, is that... not the season rewards, right? So we should get more. T2 level 4 ions will be granted at the gold 1 tier, while all the leagues above it will have the amounts increased. That'll be interesting to see when that goes live. Weekly ranked rewards will favor getting at least 2 wins per trial, so be sure to review your strategies. Okay. Festive Strike Pass. I'm kind of exhausted here, but what are we getting? Nico Minoru into the Raid Store! That's our first character of December. But of course, we also have the new campaigns coming, so we'll have to see how all of this translates. There's so much here, guys. I'm going to have to cover this in additional videos. Elite Store, Nakia is going to be in there as well in your Red Stars if you happen to need her. I didn't actually pull for her on this account. This one's kind of boring. I don't really care too much about Nico. Free Claim Friday. Now... we need to talk about this because... oh. More free claims. Okay, yeah, we need to talk about this very briefly, very quickly before we end the video, because where I'm at in the month-long event as well is here. I'm at this. 493,000. Now, what am I missing? There's a few things that I am missing. I don't have the 1650 from today, and then there's 2 more lumps of 1650. So when we're actually going to be short about 2,000 or so currency, I'm pretty sure, unless there's going to be additional free claims between now and Monday. It did say up here that keep an eye out for more free claims every day on the web, so I don't know if that means over the weekend there's going to be more. We're going to need to really figure that out. Otherwise, there might be a possibility that we don't clear this free to play. Yeah. And that's everything. This was a huge-ass blog. I'm going to have to break this stuff down over the coming days and into early next week. And we'll have way more stuff coming here in Marvel Strike Force on my channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're following, and so that you can get up to date with all things that are important. That's it. Happy Friday, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out of this crazy, crazy packed blog.